In this video we'll be comparing the new event tower Warlock with arguably the best tower ever in TDS Accelerator. We will also see which tower is cooler and has more use in the meta right now. Okay, so for starters, the Warlock tower is actually more expensive to max level than the Accelerator. And the Accelerator even appears to have more DPS. This one has 1000 DPS and Warlock I'd say like 500. But don't get fooled by the Accelerator's DPS because it needs to charge up, which means that, it's not gonna be attacking all the time. Also, Warlock has the very powerful blade attack which does 750 damage and has splash damage and bleed, so it is gonna be a really close battle between those two epic towers. The first is gonna be just pure DPS, which is gonna be which tower can defeat the Molten Boss quicker. And I feel like Accelerator is gonna win this one because, of its single target capabilities, but we'll have to see. Okay, let's spawn Molten Warlord, which is basically Molten Boss, okay, and we are gonna be changing commanders. Let's put a timer on screen how much that takes. I think they got stunned or something, I don't know. Okay, maybe I'll place a fourth commander just in case. It's not looking really great for Accelerators. I think they got stunned and they need to recharge after being stunned, so that's a big downside for the Accelerator. They're actually not doing that good, surprisingly. What? That has to be I don't think Accelerator... Wait, Accelerator should deal more damage, bro. Nah, if Accelerator loses, that's gonna be embarrassing, low-key. Come on, bro. But you gotta admit, bro, this skin is so epic. But back to the action, okay. It took pretty long for the Accelerators to actually defeat the Molten Warlord for some reason. Okay, finally. So I'll put the time on screen how much that took, and now it's time for the Warlocks. Okay, so I got Warlocks and support towers placed. Now let's spawn the boss, and I don't think they're gonna kill it, to be honest. Hold on, let's change commanders. Wait, that DPS looking pretty good right now. Wait, look at the DPS now, the swords. What? Yo, that was like 5000 DPS for a second there. Okay. Ooh, they're like really good at close combat. But now the boss got out of their blade range, okay. Wait, they're doing better than Accelerator right now. But we'll see what happens when he gets out of range. Hold on. I feel like it's gonna be pretty close, to be honest. Yeah, they're gonna be able to kill it, but it's not gonna be that fast, I think. I think Accelerators have a bit more DPS, maybe? I don't know. Ooh, they're good stunned. Wait, it's actually pretty close. It's actually pretty close for the Warlocks. If he summons something, I think we'll be cooked, but hold on. Yep, they defeated it. So I'll put the time on screen and you guys will judge which tower took down it quicker. I think it was the Accelerators, but yeah, it was pretty close. But TDS is not all about the bosses, so we'll see which tower can perform better against really fast enemies. Hold on. Let's get the... Oh, no base. Let's spawn like 10 of these. Yeah, 10, okay. Okay, let's see. Let's see how they do. What? Wait, it's kinda bugged. Okay, that's fast. Okay, that is pretty fast. Damn. Okay, let's... that was kinda too easy. What about a... Ooh, Fallen Rusher? Oh wait, 10 Fallen Rushers, that's a lot difficult. That's pretty difficult, not gonna lie. Damn, the Accelerators just eat it like it's nothing. Okay. Now it's time for the Warlocks. Okay, so let's start with the, fast purple enemies. Okay, here there are 10 of these, okay. Oh, they're getting pushed back. Yeah, that's the thing about, this tower. It is also a support tower. On top of having like 500 DPS, it can also knock back. And it way better than Accelerators. Okay, But will it do good against fallen rushers? Okay, 10 of these. Yo, Warlock is way better at mid game, it seems like. What? Yo, this star is actually crazy, damn. That's crazy. Since the score is tight right now, we will have to see which tower actually has more DPS, because the Accelerator has to charge up, and Warlock can sometimes use its sword, so it's gonna be hard to measure it. So basically I'm gonna summon the Molten Boss, and I'm gonna count how much damage the Warlock does in 10 seconds, and I'm gonna calculate the DPS. Don't forget about this amazing AoE effect with its sword that can hit 3 enemies. So it depends on the situation, but now let's test the axe. Alright, let's do the same thing for Accelerator now. Molten Warlord. Okay, start the timer now. Let's get ready to clear the enemies once the timer hits 10 seconds. Okay. Here it is. And the axe only dealt 2400 damage with no supports in 10 seconds. So that's 240 DPS, which is not really good. So basically the charge up time took so long that the DPS decreased to only 240. So the Warlock tower has more DPS than the Accelerator, but don't forget, you can place 8 Accelerators, but only 4 Warlocks. Basically, if you place 8 Axles, that's gonna be 2000 DPS. And if you place 4 Warlocks, that's gonna give you 2000 DPS also. So these two towers are basically the same, but you know, I'd say that Warlock is kind of better. He has better crowd control, he's a better support, but he does cost a little bit more, but he's still a really strong tower. Now, for the last round of this challenge, we're gonna be comparing which tower is cooler. And it's gonna be kind of hard for Warlock to win, considering that I am using this crazy skin right now. But, you know, let's try to be objective. Okay, so this is level 0 Warlock versus level 0 Axel. For me, Axel is better. He has a whole sword, a whole, you know, whole coat. While Warlock looks kinda basic, you know. But now, what about level 3 of the both towers? Warlock gets a mask and some cool details. You know, he looks pretty cool. But Axel has got wings, a really cool sword, bro. You know what, it's pretty hard to compare these two, but you know, I think it's a tie. But the max level is gonna be the deciding factor. Warlock gains a crazy red sword, while Axel starts flying and he has like some weird aura on his sword. To be honest, bro, it is basically unfair. Axel wins this 100%. This is way cooler than this, in my opinion, bro. Like, this skin looks like the final boss of towers, bro. Well, Warlock is also kinda cool, but I think Axel wins this one. So that would be the end of the video, and the score is 2-2. So I guess it's a draw. I mean, like, maybe you can tell me in the comments which tower is better or cooler, but to be honest, you can't really compare these two. Both of these towers are so cool, you know, they both deserve S tier. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, maybe even comment. Okay, bye.